The first set of notes that we're going to do, the first part is we're going to do 1, 2, and 3 together. And then you should be able to do 1, 2, and 3 on your independent practice. So follow along as we do this. I'm going to make a copy of AB, but I'm not allowed to measure. I am not allowed to say, oh, I know it's this many centimeters long. We're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it like we only had string. So the very first step that we do when we measure something using a construction without measuring is we're going to have to sometimes draw a ray. Here's what I want you to do. Down here, we're going to draw a ray that is longer than AB. There's a ray for you. Step 1. Got to stay with me or else you're going to fall behind, Mark. You too, Jesus, write it down. If you have it. You have a ray?
Yeah.
Draw a ray. The next thing that you're going to do after you have after you drew a ray, what is you're going to label your points, because we always try to label everything. I want you to think of this left point, the end point, as A prime. We have an A and a B. We have an A prime. We don't know where B is because we can't measure it using a ruler. Here's what you're going to do next. Now that you have that step done, you are going to put your bullseye on A until you feel that that bullseye is directly over A. Looks like it's right in the middle for me. I'm going to put my finger on top of the bullseye. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew this slider until the holder is directly over B. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten it down. So I have the bullseye on A. I've loosened the slider until the holder is directly over B. This is my distance. This is my compass. Look at how far it is from A to B. Do you see it? Test it. Make sure it is the distance from A to B. How do I know it's the distance? I have this arc. This is called an arc. Go ahead and on your worksheet, draw the arc. So now that we know this distance from A to B is this distance to the holder, we've tightened it up. All I have to do now is bring this down, and I'm going to go from A prime. Put your bullseye on A prime, and guess what you know now? You have this intersection. What is this intersection? B, not just B.
B prime.
B prime, because it's something that I've just changed. I know that these two distances have to be the same, and I didn't measure it. All I did was adjusted my slider. I've used a straight edge. I've used a compass. We did not use the ruler part. Number 1 says, make a copy of AB below. Did I make a copy of AB below? Perfect. So now what are we going to do? Create a segment equal to AB plus CD. I need to draw a ray. So the first thing that you're going to do is label the very left side. What do I label this? A prime is correct. You already have on your bullseye to slider, you already have the distance to A to B. And I need to do AB plus CD. So guess what that means I'm going to do next? Where do I put the bullseye?
On A.
On, not A.
A prime.
A prime. We put the bullseye on A prime. Then I'm going to create an arc by putting my pin in the holder, and I'm going to make an arc. That is now the distance to to B prime. Label your intersection. We always label our intersections. Create a segment equal to AB plus CD. Well, I have AB. What do I need to do next? Where do I put my bullseye next?
On C.
So I put a bullseye on C. But my holder's way too far away. What do I got to do next?
Then loosen it and change it on.
Adjust your slider until the holder is directly over point D, and then tighten it up. So simple. I love it. This is math? Yes, it is. It's math. Do you see how CD is that distance right there? So where do I go next? Where's my bullseye going to go next? B prime. That's the center. Is at an intersection. Your bullseyes are always going to end up being on the intersection. Now what do I do next? Very logical. That distance from here to here is the distance from C prime to D prime, basically. Now I have a segment equal to AB plus CD. That's the distance right there. This will be our last one for this set of notes, and then you should be able to do 1, 2, and 3 on the independent practice. This last one, number 3, says create a segment equal to 2 CD. What's the first thing that you are going to need to do? Not make a line. Make a ray. Now this one asked me to create a segment equal to twice CD, or 2 CDs. What is going to be the far left point called this time?
C.
C prime. Good job. Where does your bullseye go? C prime. Because don't forget, our bullseye is still set for C to D, isn't it? Like, isn't that the same distance? So can't we put the bullseye here on C prime? And when I make an arc, leave the arc on the paper. Don't erase it. I know some of you want to erase things, but don't erase it. Now you know the distance of C prime to D prime. But that's only one of them. I need to double it. How are you going to double it? What do we put? Do it again. Where does the bullseye go?
On D prime.
On the D prime. Good job. You guys are smart. I can tell.
Oh yeah.
It would be C double prime.
So this one, this is the distance of C prime. C prime and D prime are the same right here on this one, and we have 2 of them basically. Yep.
Why wouldn't it be double prime?
You know what? That's a good idea. Let's do double primes. I like your idea. So now, that is the end of these notes.